Hello and welcome back to a new episode in our worst equipment run of Ultimate General Civil War, and today we are going to fight in the Battle of Nansemond River. We can bring in total 14 brigades to this battle, and we have Whittaker and Hexamer with the Reboard Farmer and Bidwell with the Farmer Musket. The rest of our infantry is carrying the Springfield M1842. We are also going to bring a battery of 6-pounder field guns for close range support and 4 batteries of 10-pounder ordnances for long-range support. A small look in the armory reveals that we have used up all of the available farmers and reboard farmers. And in our career I have invested another point into medicine, making it possible that we can restore 20% of our losses. I've also invested another point into training, giving us a 12.5% discount on recruiting veterans. And I've invested a point into logistics, bringing us up to 10% additional ammunition. As you can see, the rebel army is going to number roughly 5,666 soldiers and 80 artillery pieces, while we are going to attack them with 20,500 soldiers and 90 guns. Also, it looks like we are going to get support by some ironclads. The main plan for the attack is that our 10-pounders are going to knock out the enemy artillery, while we try to get through these forests to attack the enemy. The ground over here is very swampy and therefore not suitable for an assault, and hopefully the trees are going to give us a little bit of cover. The Confederate heavy batteries are well protected behind entrenchments. They can tear apart any Union ship attempting to pass along this section of the river. It is going to be a hard task, but it is mandatory we destroy these batteries. Your infantry should approach with caution, because the Confederate army under Longstreet is a formidable opponent. In about an hour, 3 ironclads will arrive to support your attack. It's advised to coordinate your assault with the ship's arrival to increase your chance of success. Good luck, General. Okay, the battle can begin and our soldiers are moving out. We're going to amass our 10-pounders roughly over here so that we can give up a good amount of fire over on this section. We're going to get our soldiers with the farmer and reboard farmer ready over here as our first attack wave, and our second attack wave is going to be positioned in the woods over here. Whitwell skirmishers are going to scout out, and the 6-pounders are going to position behind them to help in the assault. Over here we deploy thick skirmishing screen and also 3 more units to protect our valuable artillery. If possible, we are also going to push forward to maybe drive away the enemy from here and to maybe open up another angle from the enemy rear. For now, the highest priority is to get our soldiers into cover and to figure out where the enemy artillery is. Then we are going to sit down and wait for the 10-pounders to arrive. And yes, we have found enemy artillery. No boys, don't move. Open up on deer. We can see that apparently, currently, no one is in these protection, in these breastworks. Can we get Bidwell forward to deliver a volley? I guess we are not able to do that. Over here, I want scale skirmishers to move forward and pagemen to move forward. Bidwell is almost there. He can open up. Not a very successful volley. Let's get him back so that he doesn't get torn apart by artillery. And over here we have found enemy infantry. It doesn't look like they have a lot of forces over on this section, so let's try to maybe outflank them. Scales boys, get into the attack. Over here we are going to soon take a lot of casualties. But as long as we can hammer down on those artillery pieces, we should make short work of their guns. So far, however, we have not done a lot of damage. And maybe we might even have to get our 10-pounders a little bit forward. We have some space to maneuver, we have some protection in the area. And this should hopefully reduce the amount of casualties our guns are going to take. But unfortunately, our infantry simply has to swallow all of those rounds that the enemy is going to unleash. Enemy skirmishers are going to be a problem on our flanks. But it looks like we might be able to get Anderson out of his position. 10 pounders are now setting up again. Some want to pick new targets. Let's make sure we are all focusing on the enemy artillery. If we can get those out, the attack on the enemy center is going to be a lot easier. Scales already took 48 casualties. Can we get him closer to those skirmishers to drive them away? Over here I want Braxton skirmishers to also push up. If we can get Anderson out, we might be able to get into the enemy rear. So far every gun is focusing on enemy artillery, but breaking them is going to be a nightmare. Scales, get ready. These skirmishers are withdrawing. If possible, open up on them. Not the best volley, but now your flank should be somewhat protected to open up on the enemy flanks. Braxton's boys, why are you not engaging? We could get them on both of their flanks. Come on. Just stay in the fight, would you? Brigadier General Bandon Scales is killed. Not a good start for this battle. Can we get Page forward? I now want to get Scales as close as possible so that we can charge down Anderson. Let's get his skirmishers on the flank to protect from the enemy skirmishers. Let's get Braxton's boys forward. Scales is about to suffer a flanking hit. Unfortunately, we cannot prevent that. We have found more artillery. Scales, get ready. One volley and you are going to charge. Good shot. Charge. More skirmishers are approaching. We are getting rear flanked. Page, you're going to get up there. And we are going to get Braxton forward. Anderson is now wavering. Braxton skirmishers, just stay in the fight, would you? Scales is taking more and more casualties. Shift and get back into position. So far it doesn't look like our bombardment is doing a whole lot of damage. All of our guys are on target. And it looks like we're at least damaging parts of their infantry. Braxton skirmishers, flank those skirmishers, please. Page, you need to push up. And Braxton's main force is also coming forward. Scales took 200 casualties already, not good. These skirmishers are not easy to kill. Let's focus Scales on camper. Luckily we are able to drive those boys away. Every step forward is a step into the right direction. Now the big question is, what is going to break first? Those guns, their morale, or our ammunition supply? Our supports have arrived. The ironclads are here. They start to fire at the batteries. Now is the time to charge. And it looks like we have 3 hours, maybe potentially even a little bit more. Let's make sure that we begin to clear up enemy flanks over here. And let's get our boys forward. Hexamer, I want you to move up over here. Whittaker, you're going to move up next to him. And Bidwell, you are going to follow your skirmishers. Garnett, Sahel and Blumer, you're also getting ready. And the 6-pounders, you are getting closer to the front line. Braxton is getting flanked. Let's give him fighting orders. Page, on the double. Scale skirmishers, hunt those skirmishers. Page's skirmishers, you're also going to move forward. Braxton's boys, you can reattach. Now we can see the enemy is shifting out some of their reinforcements. We have Banning coming up, trying to cover the rear. And unfortunately, Braxton was routed. He had 3 brigades against him. It is not a shame that he ran. We were able to drive back Kemper. And we are now pushing forward. We have cavalry on our sides. We have to be careful about that. Page, can you hold your ground? Page's skirmishers, stop running. You're there to protect their rear. And we need to get General Sherman closer to our line. 6-pounders are opening up on Law. Whittaker, you're going to charge. Hexamer, already 200 casualties. The morale is looking terrible. Bidwell, you are going to charge. Garnett, move forward. Zahel, move forward. Braxton, you need to get your morale together. You have the perfect opportunity to stop the enemy, but I guess you're still under fire. Scale skirmishers, I need you to push up. Page is getting rear flank. Can we rotate him a little bit to make sure that his flank is protected? Braxton has once more lost his morale. Let's get these boys forward as well. Whittaker got repelled. Hexamer, you have to charge in. Bidwell is doing whatever he can to stop the enemy approach. Zahel, you're going to open up on these forces. Over here we are pushing up. 6-pounders open up on the flank of these soldiers. Scales is getting massacred, but we are driving away Kemper. These boys need to hold. Page, you don't need to run anymore. And Braxton is just unable to rejoin the fight. But it looks like we have driven away the first line of enemy defenders. Let's order a charge on the enemy artillery line if we are able to do so. Hexamer is unable to charge. Let's get Blumer forward. Let's get his skirmishers out and into the rear of Robertson if somehow possible. And the 6-pounders need to opening up on Benny. We also need to reshift some of the attention of our artillery. These guns were already doing so. I want them to continue with the harassment of enemy artillery. We are now contesting the enemy battery. Braxton is able to open up again. He has taken over 400 casualties, but he is now finally able to breathe again and able to open up on the enemy sides. Whittaker, push into the fort. Hexamer, can you get on Sterling? Whittaker, if possible, get in. Open up on course. Let's turn those defenses of the enemy against them. Bidwell, you are finally back in action. Let's move you forward. So far, casualties seem to be very lopsided. We have lost over 12% of our corps. We have to charge out an enemy who is in very good defensive positions, meaning that high casualties are somewhat expected. Blumer, hold your ground and open up on the flank of the retreating Armistead. Yes, yes, very good. One volley and that was enough to rout him. Braxton, I'm going to rush you forward to get on the flank, of course. Bidwell, double time it if you can. Stahl is withdrawing. Whittaker has a rough time. Hexamer, open up on Kesk battery. We are driving their batteries back. And we are taking the needed positions. Blume, you're going to push forward. Over here we have driven away the enemy. Page, you're going to move up on Kemper. Skirmishing line, try to get on the flank of the enemy. Scales main force, focus on the enemy infantry. These 10-pounders, I need you to move up. These 10-pounders, I also need you to move up. Artillery is going to push up as well. 6-pounders, open up on the flank of Law if you can. Whittaker has some struggle with the positioning. Let's get Hexamer forward. Zahel's morale is still recovering. Bidwell can come in. And he is able to open up fire. Very good. We have driven away a couple of their batteries. We are unfortunately unable to order those gunboats to open fire as we please. But at least we are making progress. Wild skirmishers, I have unfortunately sent you into a very rough spot. Quickly turn around, open up fire on Hayes. Then continue to fall back. Page's boys are coming up. Let's try to get everyone set up. Kemper is almost destroyed. He is down to 900 soldiers. So let's get Scales forward. Braxton is once again wavering. Our artillery is struggling to set up. But they are now here. I want 2 batteries to continue the pursuit of enemy guns. Bidwell, you are going to overtake Whittaker. Stahl, you're going to move forward. 6-pounders, can we get you into the fortifications? And Blumer, I want you on the flank of Armistead. Braxton, open up on the flank of Garnett. Course is charging. Let's give our soldiers the hold command. Scales, hold. Page, hold. How are our casualties looking? 16%. Terrible. Blumer, do not shift. I know it is tempting. Scales needs some help. Braxton, you need to focus fire on the flank of Armistead. This is the best kill zone that we can offer you. Blumer, what are you doing? Just stay in position and fight. Bidwell, you need to rush out there. Hexamer, I'm going to order you forward on enemy artillery lines. Page should be strong enough to hold back Kemper, and we need to send forward some ammunition. These 10-pounders open up on the enemy blob over here. These 10-pounders are doing good supportive fire over here. These 6-pounders have now almost reached the enemy's sides. We begin to sandwich the enemy, but we are taking heavy casualties. Over here, enemy skirmishers finally broke. But we have Hayes cavalry on our flank. We need to get our skirmishers forward, otherwise we are in deep, deep trouble. Braxton, get forward over there. Blume is holding. Starhell, you're going to move down. Blume skirmishers, you need to reattach. Hexmar is able to open up on Deering. And now everyone we need to destroy is Sterling. Stripling. My apologies. 478 casualties among Hexamar. Hexamar, can you hold and open up on the flank of Robertson? This way we should be able to break the enemy side over here. Braxton, move forward. Scales, open up fire. We hear a charge, but I can't find where it is. Coming from Anderson apparently, and Robertson. Very well then. Gentlemen, open up on their flanks. Tear them to pieces, please. Starhell on the double, get ready. Blumer, hold your ground. You are able to shoot into the rear of Robertson. And we have a problem. Our skirmishers have abandoned their sides. Let's shift the attention of our 10-pounders. Let's get Bidwell skirmishers reattached. And let's get these boys forward. Page needs to hold out. We are sending boys down. And I'm also going to send Starhell skirmishers down. Garnett, you need to rush down to protect our guns. There we have Stripling. Hexamar, you're going to push forward. Stripling is needed to be destroyed. Braxton had charged the enemy and paid the price. Blumer, push up. Starhell, move up. Down here, enemy cavalry in our rear is a massive problem. I have ordered our 10-pounders to focus fire on them. Because we really can't shift our soldiers around. And now we have enemy cavalry flanking us. Yeah, this is definitely not looking good, but we are pushing over here. It almost looks like the enemy tries to break us on this side so that they can make a way for their retreat. Let's get these skirmishers positioned so that our rear is now somewhat protected. Yeah, Page is taking heavy casualties, but luckily this battle is now over. At the beginning of this battle, we had over 17,700 soldiers and 90 artillery pieces. And during this very short but bloody fight, we lost over 4,400 of our soldiers. On the enemy side, they had over 12,300 infantry, 1,300 cavalry and 80 artillery pieces. After the battle, 4,300 of their infantry were killed or wounded, and the same goes for 281 of their cavalry. We were also able to destroy 44 of their artillery pieces. So overall we didn't do too bad. We have achieved all of our goals, and the best unit on the battlefield was Scales with 905 kills, followed by Bloomer with 805 and Page with 788. Our casualty list is also led by Scales, who lost over 839 of his soldiers, followed by Braxton, who suffered 793 losses, and Hexamer, who lost 507 of his men. Amongst our officer corps, Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Torbert got promoted to Colonel, and unfortunately we have lost Brigadier General Brandon Scales. And during this fight we were able to capture a wide array of weapons. First, we have to mention that we were able to rescue 378 of our rebuilt farmers and 178 of our farmer muskets, and we captured 117 Springfield M1842s from the enemy. We also got 134 hunters, 57 sawdors, 62 Patton 1853 Enfields, and 490 Harper's Ferry M1855. Lastly, we captured 98 Tyler Texas. And we were also able to get 8 10-pounder Parrots and 4 10-pounder ordnances from the enemy. Overall, we weren't able to capture a lot of enemy equipment, but a lot of the weapons that we got our hands off might actually be used in our army. To round everything off, we got another career point and 5 reputation. We have also gotten $75,000 and 4,400 fresh recruits. Within our 4th Corps, many units have received a beating, but we are able to recover from this very quickly, and our battery of 6-pounder field guns has now received its 2nd star. And in the next episode we are going to defend ourselves in the Siege of Suffolk, but this has to be it for now. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.